Well, let's start with the fact that it's the most obvious one. It's low maintenance living at its best. You got a situation where you are gaining the convenience of not having to deal with your exterior maintenance anymore. Oh man, I can't wait for that. The landscaping is taken care of, snow, trash removal, all that is taken care of. And you, as a resident, to enjoy retirement without the worry and the upkeep. That's going to give you more time for the activities that promote an active or social lifestyle. Welcome to the Carolina Senior Talk Podcast, your trusted source for all things related to senior living in the Carolinas. In each episode, we'll guide you through the best locations, offer advice on buying a home, and share tips on relocating within this beautiful region. Whether you're exploring new senior communities, considering a move, or looking to invest in your current dream home, we've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover everything you need to know about senior living in the Carolinas. Well, hello there, friends. Welcome to another episode of Carolina Senior Talk, where we talk about all things senior. It can be anything from equity to healthcare, to anything that is pertinent to those of us that are in that senior crowd, if you will. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is very much on the minds of those of us that are going through or gone through or thinking about an active adult community. And we're going to talk about active adult and meaning independent living. We are not talking about assisted living. We are not talking about staying in your home. Yes, 75% or more of those of us over the age of 50 wish to stay in our home. We're not talking about that right now. That's a topic for another podcast. But that said, we're going to focus today's conversation on what are the considerations, what are the pros, what are the cons of an active adult community. Let's start with the cons. That's a little bit easier to go through. I've got 6 of those for your consideration. Number 1, the fact is that you are often moving from where you are today to a new home, which is going from larger to smaller. You're going to a smaller home, so you're downsizing. These homes are designed for 1 to 2 people, and so that needs to be taken into consideration. And that implies it demands, frankly, that you go through some forethought, some planning, some organizing of your belongings. You may have to store some items. You may have to eliminate some items. You may have to redistribute some of those items that are family possessions before you move. So that's consideration number 1. You're downsizing, and it requires a little bit of thinking and forethought and planning. The second component of an over 55 active adult community is the fact that you are now moving into an environment that is got HOA, the Homeowners Association. It has fees and rules. And there's 2 issues there. Well, number 1, the fees can be expensive. That is part of your budget that you may or may not be aware of. So you want to be conscious of, what those fees are going to be and make sure it's within your budget. It can be expensive because there are amenities that come with that. The second component of that is the rules. Okay, you're moving into an environment that does have rules. That means that you just can't go out and paint the outside of the home any color you want or do any landscaping you want. The HOA will give you guidelines as to how to handle that. Landscaping, paint colors, size of your pets, access for your guests. All of these are things that are now part of the environment that you would be moving into. And that may not be your cup of tea. The third component is the fact that you are in an environment that is limiting the age diversity by design. So it's over 55 typically, sometimes even older in some communities. So you don't have the interaction with younger generation. You don't have that energy that comes from a more age diverse neighborhood. So that's factor number 3. Factor number 4 would be the fact that you are in a situation where you have no medical support, no medical care being provided. This is not the key word, again, going back to our initial comment, was this is an active adult independent living. There's typically no medical care being provided. It is not ideal for your long-term care circumstances. However, that doesn't mean you can't bring in home care systems from a third-party service. So that's how you would overcome that issue if it were to come up on your horizon down the road. Medical care, that was factor number 4. Number 5 would be the fact that you are now moving frequently in these communities, and ideally you want to be near family, but that's not always the case. But if that is a criteria that you want to be near family. The location of the community comes into mind, and you might not be near family. You might be outside the city centers, and that might create a situation where you're feeling a little bit disconnected from your children or your grandchildren or the everyday conveniences. So that's something that you want to think through as well. Last but not least is the fact that it's a lifestyle that frankly doesn't fit everybody. It's a planned social environment. It might feel cliquish. It might take you back to the days of high school or something. I don't know, but if you have insecurities about that, and the fact that it's overly structured, you may have that feeling that it's overly structured. Again, may not be your cup of tea. Some people prefer the independence of being outside of a retirement village-like vibe. And so that's a consideration that may be very real to you. And that's one that you want to be conscious of as you make your thoughts, as you process your thoughts in terms of whether you need to make this move or not. Now, let's go to the flip side of the coin. The flip side of the coin are the pros. What are the advantages of an active adult community? Well, let's start with the fact that it's the most obvious one. It's low maintenance living at its best. You got a situation where you are gaining the convenience of not having to deal with your exterior maintenance anymore. Oh man, I can't wait for that. The landscaping is taken care of, snow, trash removal, all that is taken care of. And you, as a resident, to enjoy retirement without the worry and the upkeep. That's going to give you more time for the activities that promote an active or social lifestyle. That's the whole design aspect of the community. The second pro is the fact that you get amenities and social opportunities in abundance. And it can really elevate a senior's living experience, especially if you're a widow situation or your single spouse. It's an ideal situation. Clubhouses, pools, fitness centers, walking trails, golf, pickleball, etc. All of these are some of the amenities that some of the communities offer. Not every community is the same in those amenities. So you want to be very careful about what's being offered. You have organized events and activities within the clubhouses, for example, trips to museums or day trips. All of these are part of the lifestyle. And that can be very helpful in terms of fostering friendships and a sense of community. Third component is, we talked about this earlier as a con, but it's the fact that it is age restricted, and that creates a quieter environment. So if you want a little bit more peace in your life, okay, no more kids around you, your patience level is not what it used to be, then you're going to discover a much similar lifestyle amongst the people who live in that community within the similar age group, with fewer kids or noisy neighbors, and so therefore more peaceful environment. Let's talk about the fourth aspect, which is safety and security. So that comes in two flavors. The first one is the fact that some of these communities will offer formal gated entries, or they may have on-site staff, or there may be a neighborhood watch program. It may be just limited egress and access to the community, so that it's not a through community with a lot of traffic going through, all of which create a safer environment, a more secure environment. The second component of that is the design of the homes themselves. So the homes are designed oftentimes a single level, more often a single level. You have wider door widths, you have grab bars, you have walk-in or easy access showers, etc. So it's taking into account our advancing ages and the fact that our health may need the assistance of a grab bar within the house. So those are some of the things that are absolute pluses in the design of both the community as well as the house itself. Item number 5 is the fact that it's a lifestyle-oriented design. Alluded to this before. The homes are built with aging-in-place features, which we just touched on. The efficiency of the layouts are designed to take this into account. That's much more user-friendly for older adults. Aspect number 6 is the fact that it's the sense of community that you gain. You have activities that build strong relationships amongst your neighbors. You get to know your neighbors, so you get to identify shared interest, and that creates a bond, a sense of community. It can reduce that sense of isolation, especially after you've retired and perhaps you've experienced the loss of a spouse. So those are some of the pluses. Low maintenance, amenities, quieter environment, safety and security, a lifestyle, a design for the lifestyle, and just a strong sense of community, which we all, well, a lot of us appreciate. Now, that leaves one last thing, and that is, how can I help? I'm a realtor. I've been doing this for 23 years. I do specialize in serving seniors. And so this is a conversation that I have frequently with the people that I serve. But how can I help specifically? Well, I can help in three ways. Number one, as a realtor in this area, I know the communities, I know the active adult communities. And so I can help you identify a community and a home within that community that might be desirable. Second thing I can help with is the equity in your home may be dependency on being able to make that move, that would enable you to make that move. So whether you want to tap into that equity and retain the home, or you want to sell the home and leverage the entire amount of equity to buy the next home, all of those are considerations that I can help with and identify exactly how much equity you could expect to pull from the home with a sale of the home. And that leads to the third aspect where I help the most, I think, or at least I get perhaps the most pleasure out of, and that is the connections that I've built over the years. I work a lot with seniors, and therefore I spend a lot of time networking with healthcare professionals and other people who help my clients. So if it's getting a home ready for sale, I've got painters and flooring contractors and roofers and people who may be able to come in and do a little bit of work, or it might be a handyman type situation. But the most daunting task, I think, is when you're downsizing, is dealing with all these possessions that we have and then preparing for that. So that requires some planning, organizing, packing, and moving. And all of those are connections that I have, and I've been happy to connect you with them because I know them, I trust them to do a great job. So those are examples of how Dave Edwards can help, or a realtor of choice can help. And I hope that provides a little bit of thought behind and some ammunition, if you will, to your thoughts as to your consideration to move to an active adult community. If you have any other questions or you'd like to reach out to me, my contact information is at the end of this podcast. Thank you for listening. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Carolina Senior Talk podcast. We hope you found today's episode both informative and helpful. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. If you enjoyed today's show, please leave us a review and share it with those who might benefit from our advice. If you or anyone you know is looking to buy, sell, or relocate to the Carolinas, or you simply want to know how much equity you have in your home, be sure to contact me at www.carolinaseniortalk.com. Until next time, we wish you the best on your senior living journey in the Carolinas. Thank you for listening once again, and talk to you soon.